I'm going to share with you guys 3 ways that you can increase sales from your events. This could be workshops, challenges. They can be small events. They do not have to be big events. Actually, it's better if they're small events. It's going to help you have a high quality person, a better show rate, and make more sales without being better at sales. So you should get good at sales. You should get good at communicating. It is the #1 skill that's going to make you money in the world. But this is 3 really easy ways that you can increase sales from your events without actually getting better at sales. Before I get into it, one thing that I wanted to share with you guys, which I hope would just be like hopeful, inspiring to you to know this. So recently I was invited to Russell Brunson's Inner Circle Mastermind, and to be invited to that mastermind, so I went to like one of the masterminds, to be invited to that, you have to be making at least 7 figures. So everyone in this room is making 7 figures, and they go around and they're all presenting solutions to problems and things that are going on in their business and what's working well. And then they ask questions, right? And they get help. And one thing that I observed in this room is that even these people at 7 figures, they are all still working hard, even struggling with optimizing sales, like leads and sales. So at every level, like there's a devil at every level, right? When you guys are small, I'm going to share with you some strategies right now to increase sales. When you're small, the conversion rates are actually much higher. It's so much different selling to someone in an intimate environment to trying to sell to masses where the connection isn't there. And so as these businesses grow and they're getting bigger and there's more leads and there's more people, they actually just have different sales problems and different strategies that need to be implemented to fix the sales problems. And I thought, you know what, that's a really cool thing to sort of share, that so you guys know, it's just an always thing, like it's always something that we're working with and dealing with in business. And I do have a Google Doc I wrote down. It's got a whole bunch of strategies, things that I learned in Russell's mastermind and things that we do with clients on how to increase sales. So you can just type like Google Doc if you want it, and I'll send you the Google Doc. But I want to share with you 3 things that you can implement if you're brand new, or even if you're already making 5-10K, like this will work for you. I was already at multiple 6 figures when I did this, and it like was game changing for our sales. And so the first thing that you guys are going to do, I call it a triage call. It doesn't matter. It's like a 5-minute phone call. So when you go to run your event, it could be a workshop, it could be a boot camp, whatever it is that you're doing to convert, your conversion event, your sales event, what you're going to do is you're going to invite these people to a quick phone call first. And I got them on a call the very first time that we did a challenge on Zoom. I only had 10 people. I got these 10 people on a phone call, and I told them, hey, I'm going to be coaching you for free for this week. So I do need you to be able to turn up and come live. So I'm getting commitment, firstly, that they can come live. And I would love to know a little bit about what's going on with you to make sure that I can help you. So then I'm also getting details and emotional buy-in from them about what are their problems and what are they struggling with. And then I charged them. I charged them $97. I said it's fully refundable. If you get to the end of the week and it's not crazy valuable and it wasn't worth the $97, I'll refund you. Nobody asked for their refund. To this day, that's still my highest converting event. And there was only 10 people in the room. And I want you guys to write this down. Is because the deeper the connection, the higher the conversion. You are much better to have 10 people in the room who got on a phone call with you, told you what all their problems were, made a commitment to turning up for the week and getting coaching, than you are to have 100 cold registrations. So the deeper the connection, the higher the conversion. And you can position it as free coaching. I did a post in the group. I was like, hey, I'm going to do some free coaching. I'm going to help with this awesome opportunity, yada, yada, who's interested. So we got a bunch of leads that actually filled up the next few events. But our clients do this all the time in the DMs. And the clients who do the phone calls, because some will avoid them and they don't want to have the phone call. We have scripts and everything. We show them how to book the calls, but some will still avoid them because it's uncomfortable. And then the ones that do it, and they crushed, they're like, what was the difference? How come this event went so well? Oh, I did the phone calls. I got them on the call. Can you just see how like someone who gets on a call, tells you their problems, gets the emotional buy-in, commits to coming, is a way hotter lead. And that person is going to trust you a lot more too, because when you're brand new and you're small, you don't have a lot of social proof. Your competency maybe isn't that great. So the way that you deliver, the way that you pitch, present, maybe isn't that refined yet, but the trust does a lot of heavy lifting for you. You maybe don't have a lot of testimonials yet, but again, the connection and the trust is actually going to do a lot of heavy lifting for you. So that is number one. The second thing that we do that works really well for us is we try to make sure, and especially if you're getting a bit bigger, so maybe you're running events and you've got 20 or 30 people coming, or 40 registrations or 50 registrations, so you're getting more people interested and registered, and maybe you can't get them all on a phone call, right? So but you still want them to be really warm. Everyone that registers for our event, we try to do this with everyone who comes into the group, we send them all client interviews. So if you have registered for our event and you haven't got a client interview, we will be like, by the way, I have an interview with a client, would you like the replay? Because this is the best form of testimonial that you can get someone. It's better than a screenshot, it's better than a written testimonial. Most of the time when people give you testimonials, like a video or a piece of writing, a shout out or something, it's normally like, hey, Sylvie is so nice, she's so sweet, she's the best, you got to work with her, but they don't share the transformation. When you can interview a client and you just get them on a call like this, like on a Zoom, and you ask them some questions, where were you before, what were you struggling with, where are you now? Only short, it can be 10-15 minutes, but they get to feel the energy of that person, they get a little bit of context, they get to hear them talking about, hey, that person was struggling with the same thing that I was struggling with, and now they hear they've made this transformation, and the client is always going to say good things about you. That is going to increase certainty that they can get an outcome working with you. And so if we can increase certainty as much as possible before even getting to the point of presenting the offer to them, and we're going to talk about this a lot on the offer workshop. So if you guys are not signed up, tomorrow I'm going to run an offer workshop, and we're going to show you how to put together your offer to increase certainty that they can get an outcome, how to position it, how to communicate the value again so that they feel certain they can get a result with you. But being able to send client interviews or testimonials before the event is another way to increase certainty, and that's also going to increase your show rate if you can't get them on a phone call. Number 3 is during your event. So I want you guys to understand this, the best teacher wins. If we are going to pay someone thousands of dollars to help us change their life, we need to feel like we trust that that person can help us change our life. Now, how do we do that when this person's on the other end of a computer and they're a complete stranger? Well, it's through a display of competency. When they're communicating, when they're teaching, if we are listening and going, wow, this person really knows their shit. This person's really, like, not just really smart, like competent, like they can teach me. I can learn from them. I can get value from them and then take what they just said and go, I get it. I understand it. I'm like, I can now go and implement what they're teaching, or they are shifting the way that I'm thinking. Because some of you can just put it in the chat box, like, are you teaching anything new? Just type no if you're not, yes if you are. Most of us is no, we're not teaching anything brand new. Like there's no new concept in this world. They've heard it before, they've seen it before. So it's your job to teach it in a way where they're like, oh wow, I didn't think about it like that. That's really helpful. That just landed for me. If they're coming to your events and going, oh my God, I have heard this before, but the way that you just said it, it just changed everything. That's what you want. That's competency. Now, most people get on their events, whether it's a one-day workshop, a multi-day workshop, and they speak in circles. You have all these things that you want to talk about and all these things that you want to teach, and you kind of go back and forth. Like, you know, if you're kind of a little bit guilty of this in your teaching, and it's really difficult for the person on the other end to follow along. So a confused mind never buys. A confused mind never buys. And if they're confused listening to you speak, if they have to make sense of it, this is why when it comes to creating a bio and an I help statement, clear is better than clever. Clear is better than clever. They need to have absolute clarity about what you're teaching them. And if they have to kind of unpack it themselves and make sense of it and piece it all together, then that creates friction. And anytime you create friction in the process of learning from you, communicating with you, buying with you, anytime you're creating friction, what you're actually doing is you're breaking trust. Because now they're like, oh, I'm not sure. Oh, I need to figure this out. Oh, so we want to be able to communicate in a way where we seem competent. Now I'm going to give you a framework. Well, we are competent, but most of us aren't great communicators. So the framework to be able to do this, I call this the SHIFT framework. This is what we teach inside of our program. It's really, really simple, guys. You're going to share a story. Then you're going to share the content piece, one framework only, one content piece only, and then you're going to share a testimonial. That's it. So the story is there to get the emotional buy-in on what you're about to teach. Otherwise, they're going to be rolling their eyes going, I know this, who are you to teach me this? I've heard this before, it's not that great. So the story gets the emotional buy-in. It can be your story, it can be a client story, it can be a story from a book, it can be a metaphor, right? But you've got this story that gets the emotional buy-in. Now they're hooked. They're like, oh, okay, I want to hear this. I'm interested. This is so good. Yes, all right, I see why this is so important now. Then you got your teach. And hopefully you do teach it a little bit different to the way that they've heard before, so they can be like, oh wow, that was really cool. But if not, it's fine, because you got the story, you got the teach, and then you got the testimonial to back it up, which could be your own testimonial, your own results. You can share your own story in different ways to be a testimonial for different parts of your process. That's totally fine to get started as well. And then that's like the logical, like, you know, tying it all together, like, oh, okay, cool, it can work for me. If you do those 3 things, you will be able to make more sales without actually being better at sales. You haven't changed your offer. You haven't got better at pitching your offer, which, by the way, you should come to the offer workshop tomorrow and I'll help you do that. But you haven't got better at pitching your offer. You haven't changed your offer. You haven't changed your event. But what you have done is you have got warmer, more committed leads at the front end. You've helped them have more certainty that they can probably get a result with you before they even came to the event. And then you have delivered in a way that positions you as an expert, because you actually are easy to follow along and learn from. So now you seem like someone who is really competent and good at what they do as well. And all of this is going to help you increase sales. So if this was helpful, just type helpful. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a fab weekend. Peace and love, and I'll see you later.